One Last Page presents a story that will touch your heart. They were once the happiest couple in their neighborhood, Michael and Grace Thompson, married for over 40 years. They raised 4 sons with nothing but love, sacrifice, and dreams. Michael worked day and night in a small furniture shop, while Grace spent her life caring for the home, teaching her boys kindness, and holding the family together. Their home was always filled with laughter, birthdays, dinners, family photos. Everything seemed perfect. But time, as it always does, changed everything. Years passed, but their sons grew up, found jobs, and built lives of their own, each in a different city. Michael and Grace were proud. They believed they had done everything right, raised good children, taught them good values. But when old age came, loneliness came with it. Their house grew silent. Walls echoed memories instead of voices. Michael's health weakened, Grace's hands trembled. Yet they still smiled because they believed their sons will take care of them now. One day, Michael gathered courage and said, "Grace, maybe. It's time we stay with one of the boys. We're getting old. We need someone around." Grace smiled weakly. "You're right, Michael. Let's talk to them." They called their sons, hoping one of them would say, "Come live with us, both of you." But what came next shattered their hearts. The eldest son said softly, "Dad, our house is small. Maybe James can take you." James said, "We can manage, Mom, but not both." The youngest added, "We'll all take turns. Maybe one keeps Dad, one keeps Mom." Grace's heart sank. Michael sat there, silent, eyes filled with tears he didn't want her to see. That night, they didn't sleep. They just held hands and cried quietly because they never imagined their love story would be split in half by their own children. Days later, Michael moved to his second son's house, while Grace went to the eldest. At first, both tried to adjust. Michael missed Grace's morning tea. Grace missed his small jokes at breakfast. In their new homes, they felt like guests, unwanted ones. Michael's daughter-in-law served food with irritation, and Grace's daughter-in-law complained about her extra work. One evening, Michael sat alone on the balcony, whispering to himself, "She must be asleep by now. Did she eat properly?" At the same time, miles away, Grace looked at the empty chair beside her bed and whispered, "He always reminded me to take my medicine. I forgot again." They missed each other not just as husband and wife, but as soulmates who had shared a life, laughter, and pain together. A few months passed. Both became weaker, quieter, and lonelier. One morning, Grace fainted while doing laundry. Her daughter-in-law complained instead of helping. When Michael heard about it, something broke inside him. That night, he called her. His voice trembled. "Grace, come home. Let's go back to our house," she cried. "But how will we live, Michael? We have no savings left." He said softly, "We'll manage. We've lived our whole life with little, but at least we'll live together." Next morning, Grace packed her small bag. She didn't even tell her son. She took the old bus to her hometown, and when she stepped out at the gate, Michael was already there, waiting. He looked older, weaker, but when he saw her, his eyes lit up like they used 2 years ago. They didn't speak for a moment. They just hugged tightly, as if they were holding each other's broken pieces together. Their old house was dusty and empty, but to them it felt like home again. In the beginning, life was hard. They struggled to buy food, to afford medicine, to clean the house. Michael repaired furniture for neighbors, and Grace started sewing small clothes for nearby children. Slowly, things began to improve. They laughed again, shared stories, and rediscovered peace in the quiet of their little home. Sometimes they'd sit outside in the evening, holding hands, watching the sunset. Michael would say, "We gave them everything, but in the end, we found ourselves again." Grace smiled. Yes. Maybe God wanted to remind us that love means standing by each other, not depending on anyone. Their sons visited once in a while, but by then, the old couple had found something priceless: freedom and dignity. They lived simply, but together. And one day, Grace wrote in her diary, "The greatest mistake we made was believing that love and care come automatically from your children. But in truth, only those who stay strong together can truly live with peace." Music fades softer, emotional tone rises, and that, dear listener, is life. You can raise children with all your heart. But in the end, you must have the strength to stand on your own feet. Because love is eternal, but dependency is painful. Moral: be self-independent, even in love, because true love never demands, it endures. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to One Last Page, where every story ends with a truth we often forget.